Welcome to Vet Talk.
Managing an ISO 17025 accredited lab means tracking hundreds of moving parts. If you rely on memory to track mandatory requirements, you risk missing critical deadlines, racking up nonconformances, and ultimately losing your NABL accreditation. The solution is to centralize everything. We are going to build an annual quality calendar, a master schedule locking in every mandated meeting, quality check, and calibration for the entire year. To build this, you need 3 foundational documents. First, a blank 12-month spreadsheet. Second, your lab's CalipDo master equipment list. And third, the ISO 17025 General Requirements Standard itself, along with your lab's specific quality manual. By translating static manual procedures into a dynamic temporal map, a conformity assessment body can identify upcoming requirements weeks before they arrive. Step 1 is setting up our framework. We'll lay out a 12-month timeline across the top and divide the rows into 4 compliance categories: validity of results, equipment, audits and MRM, and personnel. We'll start with the first row, ensuring validity of results. Clause 7.7 requires recurring internal quality checks. Per Procedure 06, the quality manager must review 10% of reported results every single month. Next, bi-monthly requirements. Analysts must alternate executing replica tests one month and retesting retained samples the next. Finally, we drop the semi-annual blind sample testing into the 6-month and 12-month columns. Note that these scheduled checks are separate from your functional equipment checks. Functional checks, like verifying a spirit level or running a daily blank, happen continuously before use and don't need to be plotted on this annual grid. Placing these cyclical checks on a master calendar moves quality control from a manual search into a recurring operational task. Moving to row 2, we address equipment under clause 6.4. Here, we must track the critical difference between annual external calibrations by third-party agencies and the recurring internal intermediate checks conducted by your own staff. First, we extract the external calibration due dates from your lab's master equipment list. To ensure you never miss a deadline, plot these dates 1 full month prior to expiration. For example, the tracker shows several micropipettes have external calibrations due in April 2026. We will place the scheduling blocks for these across March and April for advanced booking. Now we shift focus to intermediate checks, or ICs. We'll use the laboratory's weighing balance standard operating procedure as our primary example. The SOP mandates quarterly intermediate checks for accuracy, precision, and the corner load test. We map these specific requirements directly into January, April, July, and October. These intermediate checks act as essential safety nets. They validate your equipment's accuracy during the long gaps between the official external calibrations. Next, we schedule the 2 events most heavily scrutinized by NABL assessors: the internal audit under Clause 8.8 and the management review meeting under Clause 8.9. There is a strict chronological dependency here. The internal audit generates findings about your quality system. Therefore, the audit must be fully completed before the MRM can occur. To map a compliant timeline, we will officially schedule the internal audit in September and place the management review meeting in October. We also define a 30-day post-audit milestone strictly dedicated to closing nonconformances. Finally, we turn to personnel. Clause 6.2 mandates a documented annual training plan for all laboratory staff. We will schedule its mandatory publication right at the start of the year, dropping it into the January column. For the rest of the year, ongoing personnel competency monitoring is distributed across the calendar. We tie these competency checks to the proficiency testing and inter-laboratory comparison cycles established earlier. Linking personnel training directly to audit findings and quality checks creates a closed-loop system of continuous improvement, meeting the expectations of an assessor. Look at the completed grid. This fully populated annual quality calendar serves as a unified defense against missed deadlines and nonconformances. Instead of searching through thick procedural manuals to figure out what needs to be done each month, you now have a proactive, at-a-glance management tool. The only singular maintenance task required is to update the equipment calibration due dates at the start of each new year. The rest of the systemic checks remain locked in place. ISO 17025 compliance rests on consistent execution of these timelines. By mapping the year in advance, you ensure the lab maintains standards every day.
Like, share, and subscribe.